and it's profound. And I found it interesting, like he when he wrote Tao of Jeet Do, like when he wrote that, there's this book called I think it's Artists of Life, and it's like a compiling of all his writings, and like a big chunk of it is just rough drafts for Tao of Jeet Do, because he like had it in his mind, but he didn't want to put it out. Like he didn't want to have a way, because that was kind of one of his big philosophies was the way of no way. Yeah. And like reading the music lesson, there was a lot of that in it. And how you approach books like the music lesson and the spirit of music is kind of like maybe like a goal he was trying to aim towards, not having like, here's the Bruce Lee way, but here is like a tale that shows these lessons and you can kind of pick up on it. Was that kind of an inspiration towards that?
Totally. I mean, consciously and unconsciously, Bruce Lee inspires everything that I do, because I was into him so young.
Yeah.
And, finding out that he was a philosophy major in college.
Right.
Here in America. And the way he talked about martial arts and Kung Fu just being like a journey to, I forget how he said it, but a journey into the self, about self-expression. Wasn't about just beating up someone or whatever. It was about finding out who you are, expressing yourself. That was interesting to me, even as a kid. And more so because my brothers were really interested. I did everything that they did. But I knew through this guy, it was more than just punching and kicking. And it was the same. I got a similar thing from reading and studying Aikido. I don't know how you say his name, but Moriai Ushiba, whatever, one of the grandmasters, I guess, of Aikido, one of the more well-known people. I would read about him a lot. And his whole thing was about loving your opponent, which was way different from the Taekwondo stuff I had been learning as a kid. It was about love your opponent and not wanting to hurt them, but to blend with them and teach them and things. And Bruce Lee was really coming about it from that angle, in a way, in a sense. But in learning about Wing Chun, which at the time you could only, the best you could do was find a book talking about it.
Right.
But even a book would say you can't learn it from a book. You gotta, yes. And it wasn't until I found a Wing Chun teacher that I realized, oh wow, it's like trying to learn to play bass from a book. You don't really, or learning how to swim from a book, better yet.
Right.
You don't really know if you can swim until you get into the water. And so it was really neat as a kid learning this stuff. But the main thing, finding out Bruce Lee was more into it than just kicking and punching. It allowed me to get into my music more than just playing notes. But his movies, what I did with my books was put it in a fictional form, put it in a story, a novel, like he did with his movies. And that way you can just enjoy the movie. And if you get his philosophy, even better. But if you don't get the philosophy, you still enjoy the movie. So I did books the same way. I didn't, hadn't made any movies yet. But I wrote the stories as fiction. Let's just enjoy the story. But the lessons are there for those who want it.